How's it going, sir?
All right, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So thank you for coming out here and doing an interview with me. I really appreciate it. So I'm just gonna this is gonna take a small amount of your time
Okay.
and ask you a few questions. And I'm gonna start with, what is your name and what do you do?
My name is Michael L. Jackson, and I am a filmmaker.
Tell me about your educational background.
My educational background consists of basic high school and some college.
And what inspired you to become a filmmaker?
What inspired me to become a filmmaker? Gosh, that's a good question. I just love film, plain and simple. I just love film. I've always loved it, and will love it till the day I die.
Oh, wow. And how did you first start pursuing your filmmaking career?
I first started pursuing my filmmaking career probably when I was 15, actually.
You were a young kid.
Yeah, I was a young guy, and initially what triggered a light inside of my head to actually pursue it was I saw some behind-the-scene footage of Spike Lee at the time. He was making School Days, and I noticed on there that the cast was African American, the crew was African American, and just like a light clicked on in my head. It's like, I'm African American and I can actually do this. So
Wow.
that's what's pretty much inspired me to do it. It's been a journey ever since then.
Was your family in entertainment?
No, none of my family was in entertainment. I just had an uncle who played in the NBA, Lucius Jackson. Other than that, nobody really was in entertaining in my family.
How's your relationship with him? Was he one of your favorite uncles, or did he not barely come
well,
by?
It was a distant relationship. Matter of fact, I really just started to reach out to him recently at this point late in my life. So,
Oh wow, that's great. That's great. He's supporting you as far as you guys are
he's
talking to
very
each other. And
supportive. He's
Okay.
definitely a great guy.
All right,
Yeah.
very cool. And who inspired you the most growing up? Any role models that you had?
I can't say necessarily there was one person in particular. I mean, a lot of my morals and whatnot actually I got from characters on TV and whatnot.
wow.
Really.
What kind of character? Any particular characters?
I was a big Batman fan.
Batman,
Yeah,
so-
I used to watch the old show Adam West and whatnot.
Okay.
And,
So
learned a
between
lot.
Batman and Robin, I'm assuming
Yeah.
you would pick Batman, right?
Yeah.
Like
Of course, I
almost.
was Batman all the time.
Okay, very cool, very cool. And how do you usually approach life? You know, what's your mindset?
One day at a time.
One day
Just
at a
one day at a time. Get a plan, stick with it, and take it one day at a time.
Oh, very cool. And what gives you that strength to sort of get through your day?
Well, of course, the Lord. Definitely get my strength from Him, and it's kind of an inner strength that I have that He endows me with.
Very, very cool. So are you very
I'm more of a
religious or-
spiritual person. I wouldn't say necessarily a religious person, but I'm definitely a spiritual person. I believe there's something out there.
And what is your favorite quote?
My favorite quote. Oh gosh, I don't know. May the force be with you. I don't
Oh, from Star Wars, a typical filmmaker quote. Very cool.
Hey, Luke. May the force be with you.
And what do you want people to remember you by in the long run?
Integrity and my work and my word, but mainly my word.
Or want to be remembered as the guy that someone can always
Yeah,
rely on,
yeah.
someone can always trust. And what is the biggest challenge that you had to face, and how did you overcome it?
Just life every day, living life every day, brother. It's a different challenge every day, and it's a continuous, so it's still ongoing.
And how do you overcome it? Just with that positive attitude of
Just with the positive attitude and knowing that if I'm blessed, I'll wake up tomorrow and be able to do it all over again.
oh, wow, that's a good attitude to have. Take me through a typical day as a filmmaker.
Typical day as a filmmaker, depending what process you're in, whether you're in pre-production, production, or post-production. I would say in pre-production, just a lot of planning as far as setting up your shots, casting, just scouting locations, just a number of things, just getting all the necessary recipes together for this cake you're about to make. Then you go into production. That's where you do the actual shooting and That's probably the roughest part, but that's the part I enjoy the most. I enjoy being on set and actually shooting. Then after that, you got post-production, and it's mainly just you and the editor, or sometimes if you are the editor, it's just you by yourself, and that's where you really put the film together.
Especially in your case, because you do mostly independent work.
Yeah, mostly independents don't usually have that luxury of having an editor, so we do a lot of editing ourselves. So.
Oh, okay, very cool. And what is the most interesting work you've ever done?
The most interesting, I would have to say, there was a time when I was a production assistant. I worked on some commercials with a company called Cibolo Films here in San Antonio.
Okay.
And the most interesting one I did, gosh. Oh, a tampon commercial.
A tampon commercial.
Yeah.
How's that?
It was interesting. There was a gentleman who was a transsexual, and he was trying to feel emotions, not being able to use a tampon. They were trying to stress that they were so good that this guy who's not even a female gender was just so sobbing in tears because he couldn't use their product. Man, that was interesting.
That was interesting. It's one of those memories you take with you, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, wow. And since you're here in San Antonio, how is San Antonio in film and cinema industry?
San Antonio, as far as film, it's a slow process. It has the potential to be a lot better. Maybe if people would band together and create an industry here. There's a lot of talent here for sure. There's a lot of talent, but there's also a lot of ego. And that kind of hinders an industry from growing here. So when people here learn to work together, San Antonio would get cracking, something would get going.
And you've had an all right time finding doing what you want here with San Antonio, or other those struggles that you had to go through as well?
It's struggle, just mainly resources, whether it be money, people, equipment. It's an ongoing struggle, but take it just one day at a time.
I'm sure when you work for Cibolo Films, or when you get funded by a film company, it's a lot more easier to have those resources because you're flying out.
If you have money behind you, definitely you have the resources behind you, but you don't necessarily have control over your product or whatnot.
Which is why you chose to become independent.
It's kind of like a give and take. It's kind of like a give and take situation. But just to each his own. What situation suits you? If you prefer to go through the studio system, or you prefer to have more control and do it independently, but just be prepared to struggle independently.
As an artist, especially here in San Antonio.
Oh yeah, well anywhere, but yeah, especially here in San Antonio.
And how does a career affect your family life?
They're pretty supportive. It could be time consuming. The days are long, usually 10 to 12 hour days.
Sometimes
there's spurts. There's spurts where you're just continuously working, and there's times where you're just at home all the time. They're like, oh, okay, get out of here, go to work. But they're supportive. And they come out and they enjoy it too.
What advice would you give to people trying to pursue this career right now? Students and just
First, you have to have a love for it, first and foremost. If you don't, you will get deterred and you will leave it alone. Because it is difficult. People look at show business and they think it's all glamour and glitz, but it is hard work. It is actually hard work. And the only way you endure that is you have a love for it. And just be consistent. There's going to be times when you're just going to be like, what am I doing? This isn't working. But the people that are successful in this, they endure.
Endurance. So endurance is key, and making sure that you're really doing it for the right reasons.
Oh, exactly.
It's coming out of your heart, coming out of your own vision. You're not doing it for the wrong. Well, very cool. Now on to some lighter questions. What song best describes you?
What song best describes me? I would say there's a couple of them, but one comes to mind that's inspirational to me, and when I listen to it, it picks me up. It's Sounds of Blackness, The Optimist. The group is The Sounds of Blackness, and the song is called The Optimist. And that song kind of picks me up.
Very cool, The Optimist. What is your favorite color?
Black.
Black
is beautiful.
Black is beautiful. Wonder why. Alrighty. If Hollywood made a movie about your life, whom would you like to see playing the lead role?
Oh gosh, I can't think of anybody offhand who could play me. Gotta have the walk. gotta have the
talk.
hair. Yeah. And I like to wear hats. I don't know, maybe Lorenz Tate or somebody.
Lorenz
I don't know.
Tate.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for people that might be watching this, the younger generation, they you're gonna have to do some research on Lorenz Tate.
Yeah. Minister Society, check that out.
Minister Society. And last question, just to lighten the load a little bit. How would you design a spice rack for blind people?
A spice rack for blind people. That's a good question. One I haven't thought of. How would I design a spice rack for blind people? I guess I would cut some different designs on the top of it and let them feel it from there.
Feel it from there. Okay. Very cool. Just to show with whether it's a left brain sort of concept or a right brain sort of concept. So definitely with the right, a little bit of both. You got the logic and the creativity in there. Alrighty. And so overall, for people who are watching this, for students who are watching this, what is your general message for any career that someone goes into?
For any career, just have a love for it. Just
for
generally have a love for it. That's the most important thing. And just be prepared to endure and sacrifice. And at the end of the day, when you're standing at the mountaintop, the view will be so nice.
Quote said like a wise man. Like a wise man.
I try.
That's good. Well, thank you so much for your time once again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Singh.
You're welcome. And hopefully we'll see some more of your movies coming out soon, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Uh-huh.